With the 1.0 release of 7 days getting closer, more news is being revealed about upcoming changes. From all new POIs to explore, updated models, and a closer look at new zombie variants, plus lots more. If you want to stay updated with all things 7 days, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on what comes next. First up, we got some new stills shared by the developers of 7 Days over on Twitter, showing off some of the new modelling work coming to the game with the release of the 1.0 build. Starting with female character models, these new models are much more lifelike in comparison to the characters already present in the game, which will be pleasing to some, though may be a slight departure from the personality of the game we've come to know. From what we can see in the image, there's a variety of races and ages to choose from, with a similar level of choice coming to the selection of male models too. I'm personally a fan of the updated models, and I think it does well to modernise the game and bring the overall quality up significantly, so I'm pretty pleased to see this level of detail coming to character models in the future. We also got to see the all-new Demolisher model in another screenshot shared to Twitter by the Fun Pimps. The new model looks incredibly detailed and gruesome, much like the updated model for Grace, the infected boar we'd seen previously. I think this will look much less out of place in the game world moving forward, with his new design matching nicely with the existing military zombie types already in the game, which goes a long way to help him blend in with existing entities in the world, and he now comes strapped with shotgun shells, smoke grenades, and a flak jacket to fit the theme. Oh, and he now has cheekbones so sharp it looks like he could cut you with them, and an underbite so strong he resembles some kind of undead piranha. In probably the most exciting 1.0 news revealed so far, there was also a screenshot shared of the all-new crop models. There's not really much I can say about this. It's more detailed than the crops we've got now, it's very green, it looks nice, that's about it. In terms of POIs, we've seen a few new ones mainly coming to downtown districts in the future, starting off with the new downtown business strip. This POI seems to incorporate a few smaller POIs, which is a good way of maximising new explorable locations without taking up as much world space in terms of POI lots. It looks like this one will incorporate a sporting goods store, art gallery, bookstore, and a possible cafe. What's interesting is another POI that appears in the screenshots over the road from this business strip, called Jim's Gym, is a POI I don't think has officially been showcased yet either. There was also the reveal of another downtown business strip that looks kind of like a small outlet mall, with multiple stores residing inside a pretty large 2-story building. It's hard to make out much detail on this one due to the angle of the screenshots and the lighting conditions, but this structure has actually been present in the test POI files for a while in Alpha 21. We also got a good look at a new skyscraper POI coming in 1.0, built by Hernan, also generating in the downtown district. This skyscraper actually looks quite small and condensed in comparison to skyscrapers currently available, which will make for some interesting and close quarters gameplay inside. I do like the design, it's a lot less conventional and has more distinct architectural qualities that makes a nice change to the usual rectangular design of larger buildings in the game. We can kind of see inside in some of the images, revealing office spaces and the usual under construction filler on one floor too, giving us a bit of a hint about the theme of the building in general. Overall, it's a pretty creative build that will definitely perform much better on a smaller and more compact scale for a building of this type, which is probably a method of optimization for large-scale buildings going forward. Moving on to another downtown business POI, there was also a screenshot shared of a selection of small businesses, from a pasta restaurant to a small cafe, what looks to be a hair salon, and finally the largest component of this build, a postal office. There's a nice variety of explorable locations here, though not too much to comment on in comparison to what we've covered so far. Overall, it'll provide some nice variation to random world generation, increasing the pool of POIs to pull from, but it is more of a filler location in my opinion. Finally, on the POI front, we've come to another downtown business strip POI, a sentence that is actually starting to lose all meaning to me at this point, but this one is much more interesting. It seems like this POI incorporates a small covered shopping parade with a pretty substantial parking lot on the rooftop. It's an interesting idea to try and incorporate a few few different themes into one build, combining a parking garage with a small scale mall and restaurant, maximising the variety of a single location, and minimising the need for dedicated POI plots for each theme. I think this method of optimising space in a game world encourages the creativity of the level designers too, and works pretty well, though I'd be interested to hear what you guys think of these multi-themed, smaller scale POIs in the comments below. Moving on to one of the more exciting and popular features of the 1.0 build, we also got a look at a few zombie variant types. These albedo variants aim to change the visual appearance of each enemy type's clothing, hair colour and clothing detail to bring in more variety and individualism to each enemy. As we can see in the first of the two albedo variant screenshots shared, the variants not only change the colour swatching of clothing items, but also change up some of the decal detailing on the items of clothing as well. For the tourist, for example, we can see that the colour and decal for his shirt changes from a bowling jacket to a branded tequila jacket, with the underwear changing decals from avocado print to heart print. Small details that aren't all that important in the grand scheme of things, but help to establish a more individual identity to each enemy and break up the repetitiveness of enemies you'll encounter. Similarly, in the second of the two screenshots shared, we can see the same effect, with each variation of the shirt being coloured differently, with the design changing and the colour of the pants being varied as well. This system, as far as I'm aware, has been shown in the past and will also affect the colouring of hair too, adding an extra level of depth in the variation we can expect coming to 1.0. While it would be nice to see some new zombie models included outside of the albedo variant system, like regular police, firefighters, bodybuilders or SWAT for example, this system is something I can get behind if expanding the pool of enemy types isn't something that's likely to happen anytime soon. That's pretty much it for now, but I'll be back to cover the upcoming developer live streams to recap the latest developer discussions and reveals happening over on Twitch. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on all the latest news, and let me know what you think of these upcoming changes in the comments below. And make sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video.